What up, YouTube? Victorian Sunbreak here. I'm gonna bring you guys a quick deck profile. I just put up my 6am deck profile, saying I'm gonna be doing lots of testing with it and blah blah blah, because there's regionals in literally a week that I'm going to in Van. But my teammate, who's only been to one regionals, and he didn't end up getting his top. I already have my top. I already have my invite and blah blah blah. So he really wants a top 8 and get his mat. Right now he was gonna play Fish OTK, but he doesn't. Neither of us think it's that great anymore because of 6ams, because they can negate your tornado and then negate the summon. So I'm like, you know what, just run my Sams. So we played at locals today. I came first, he came second. So he likes Sams. He's gonna probably be running that, and I'm either running. I was gonna run keepers. I'm like, fuck keepers. I'm like, let's have some fun. I already have my top. Let's do and have some fun and not care and whatever. So, our store owner for our locals loves this deck. His build is a little bit different. I think mine's a little bit more competitive. But he's always talking about worms. This deck is hysterical. I just won locals with it. It's hilarious. It beat Sam's, it beat Hero Beat, it beat Chaos Tengu Plants, Chaos and Scraps, and the deck is hilariously ballsy good. It's awesome. So start off, you got Woooorm Keratos. I probably said that wrong. He's a flip effect. You set him, and then they attack it. And then you get to search for any level 4 worm and add it to your hand. And then you grab one of my 3 Zeks. Zeks is broken. Summon Zeks, dump 1 worm to your graveyard. So you'll dump a YuGiOh. YuGiOh's effect, if you only control Zeks, special summon in face down defense position. When it is attacked, when it's flipped face up, bounce 1 monster on the field. So you bounce their Shi-En. And when it's and if you special summon it that way, then it's removed. But it deals with all those stupid synchros. And then I run Worm King. 2 of them. He is Hand Descendant rolled into 1, just right dead sexy 4-armed package. And then you got Crazy Dragon Nanada, the Evil Dragon Nanada. Basically, it's late game, or even early game, or like you just need to get they have 1 monster and you need to get rid of it. Drop this, remove all worms on your side of the field and in your graveyard. Special summon it, gain 600 attack for each, and then every single one of your end phases, you pop something. So late game, even if it's like 18, just pop something every turn, and it just kills something at every single one of your end phases. But it does have to kill something, so if this is the only thing on the field, it has to kill itself. But it's still a really good late game, and sometimes really good early game. Honest, because just about everything except for Anada is late. One Harvey Birdman. There's some crazy tech plays with this guy. But the main reason I run Birdman is because I'll show you the synchro deck later. Duality, because I like to run low monster counts. You only really special summon YuGiOh, YuGiOh, and sometimes Ananta. But mainly it's just so you can run the low monster count, so Gravekeepers are an easier matchup for you. Gravekeepers is a pretty good matchup, just for the sheer fact you run so much 1-for-1. MST to clear those back rows. Dark Hole, Monsterborn, Book, because they're staples. W, Nebula, Meteorite. Best card in the entire deck. What it does is everything that it would be that is face down is flipped face up. Then, at the end of whose ever turn it is, all your face down light reptiles go face down and you draw a card. Then you can special summon 1 level 7 or higher light monster. So the best first turn play is Zex, and then set. They go set, you go Nebula. Bounce whatever monster it is, saying in whatever their monster is, bounce it to their hand because it's already at the end. Draw 2 cards. Special Worm King. +2. Plus Zex is already plus, so it's just nuts. And then you can, you know, flip and you can tribute, get pop stuff, and he's a 2700 beat stick who runs over Shi-En. He's a 1 sacrifice as long as you sacrifice a worm. So he's a 1 sacrifice if you have to get over something. And then so that's the W Nebula. At very it creates so many pluses. And even if you top deck this, it's still a teleport. You can still flip whatever is up face down and then special summon a Worm King. So it's, at very least, it's a Worm King. Triple Dimensional Prison. I know I have 2 supers and 1 common, but they've gone up in price, and buying a starter deck is half the price of buying a Super D Prison. So I bought this Machina starter deck, even though I really badly want to get a 3rd super. So there's 3 of those just to get rid of monster removal, because you only have really 1800 beaters. Bottomless for hero beat and anti-meta, and Gravekeepers, because Gravekeepers can't lose their monsters. They can't handle losing monsters because they have such a low count. Or it's Snake offering to the deity, but really it's a terrible Icarus attack. Because it doesn't say, it just says destroy, not tribute. Basically, if they copy vac your whatever you're trying to destroy, if you have a Zex face up and you Snake Offering to the deity, if they copy vac your Zex to your hand, this does not work. If for whatever reason one of your targets just vanishes, doesn't work, and has to be face up. So it's kind of a horrible Icarus attack, but at the same time it's Zex, set, YuGiOh, set a deity, and then 6 amps go Kageki Kagamusha, and then get rid of them. So it is a solid card, but you don't run 3. It's not good enough to run 3. Double 7 tools, because you don't want to get warninged, and when you're making a big play with W or with a Worm King or whatever, you don't want it going away. So this is to keep you in control, because it is a control deck. Warning, because big monsters means no. There's a big no. It's just, you need to get them out of there. Solemn, because it's a staple. Main boarding impression. It just helps you against Plan Synchro, because it's not a bad matchup, but it's not a great matchup either. The reason I like this deck is there's not really a bad matchup at all, because even if you Zex sending YuGiOh with a face-up oppression, this keeps trying to come back, because it doesn't get removed, because it has to be on the field. To be removed, it has to be on the field and go away in the graveyard, so it's keeps trying to come back. So oppression does not stop it. And obviously it does conflict with W, but you also have lots of ways to get rid of oppression if you need to. But it's just mainly to stay in control of the game, like with any deck, like with Samurais and stuff like that. Especially if you have a Nada and an oppression, and then the Nada's at like 3 grand, then you just keep blasting away until you feel comfortable enough to go for game. And then finally, the last trap card is Mirror Force, because it's Mirror Force. So that's the main deck. The main deck is really quite consistent. It's like 15 monsters and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spells, and the rest are traps. So Decree does hurt the deck. That's why you always save your MST. Remember that with this deck. Always save your MST. Because yes, you have Worm King, but you have to sack for him. A Worm King can tribute itself. So if you W and all you have is Worm King, you can tribute a Worm King to get rid of something that's in your way. And just so you know, if you tribute Worm King, they can't Veiler because it's no longer on the field. But yeah, it's pretty solid. The only thing that really hurts it is Decree. Barkion's not too much of a problem, because again, you know, you run YuGiOh, and A, you can just draw a YuGiOh and set it, or B, you summon Zek's special YuGiOh, which is like he's a Stratos on steroids. So really, Barkin's not a problem. No Synchro's really a problem for this deck. So that's also a really good plus, because everything relies on Synchros. Now I'm going to show you the Synchro deck. The Synchro deck's kind of sloppy, just because my only Synchro, our tuner, is Harvey Birdman. Gen X Ally Triforce. Best card ever. One of my favorite plays ever is to go first turn set Cardos. They set some back row and set a monster. Flip. Search. You go summon, dump YuGiOh, pop back to hand, special summon Harvey Birdman, wherever he might be chilling. Hold on one sec, sorry, I'm just kind of trying to explain the combos, because so you special summon him, so you get your YuGiOh back to hand, you synchro for Gen X Ally Triforce. Now, once per turn, Gen X Ally, once per turn, because you synchro with light, you can special summon one light in face down defense position. So you can get another Rhoda, or you can get a YuGiOh to deal with the tuner. Plus, he's a 25-21 7-star dark. So he is literally every time I got him out, I won the game. I never lost when I got him out. So he is broken. And right now, I think he's like 49 cents. So that's another reason. If you already have the warnings on the dualities, nothing's over $2. Well, except for maybe Harvey. Oh no, Anada's like 7 or 8 bucks. The deck's not super expensive, is what I'm trying to say. It has gone a little bit up in price, but like 49 cents. This guy's broken. So if you're running Worms, run Harvey Birdman and run this, because he is just the shiznit. One Ancient Fairy Dragon to deal with Gravekeepers and whatnot. Catastor, Brownac, Black Rose, Stardust, Colossal, Scrap Dragon, RDA, Trish. Like I said, I literally, my buddy's like, I want a top, I want my top. Because I am going to Nationals. He's like, I want to go to Nats with you guys. So he's like, let me get my top. I'm like, yeah, run Sam's. And so hopefully he'll get his top. I might have some... I recorded a couple games. Or I didn't record any games, but I was going to. I had my camera on, but they turned it off because they didn't want the show testing. But Sam's has been testing really well. Like I said, I came first, he came second. So that's the Synchro deck. I'm going to show you the side deck because I really don't care. You know what my side deck is. Whatever. Cyber for Curries. I do have a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, but I forgot to throw it in my extra deck before the tournament. But I was still siding Cyber Dragon. It didn't matter because I didn't play any machines, but I thought it was pretty funny. But it did come in handy with G-Beasts. It also lets you synchro to level 8s with Harvey Birdman, so that's cool. MVP won me my hero beat for in the second to last round. Literally, I summoned this, attacked, flip up. It was stupid. It made me angry, but it was Snowman Eater. So it's like, wow, literally his one non-warrior. I'm like, crap. So I'm like, alright, it dies. And then I'm like, go. And then draw. And I'm like, Monster Born. So I'm like, sweet, Monster Born. Attack over your Stratos. And he just literally won me the game from there. DD Crow, plants, half the format basically. But yeah, he's devastating against plants. So yeah, that's why you have to side it. wins you match up against Gravekeepers and against anything that sets. Against you, if you play this deck side in Nox, I don't want to say that because, you know, Nox do hurt me, but if you ever get knocked, just chained W, because then everything flips face up, and then it's no longer face down, so knock doesn't work, right? It just fizzles. Plus, you'll get all your pluses from W, so that also is another cool thing about W. Chained Experience, siding out bottomlesses when you play Sams or when you play Plants. So yeah, these go in for bottomlesses about 9 times out of 10. Double Dust Tornado, Gravekeepers, because as soon as I get rid of their 3 Necro Valleys, they have nothing bigger than my Zex or my YuGiOh. They can't get around them. So once you get rid of 3 of those, double Rivalry for against lots of decks. Because they all are Reptile, odds are though these are coming out for what's the other one called? I'm sorry, I sound like such a scrub. I'm kind of tired, and I haven't slept in the past like 36 hours. Oh god. Oh, this is fun. For Goes in Match, yeah, because it's better against Sams, but this is, you know, Goes in Match is probably coming in because it stops also Hero Beat, and I didn't realize how hard of a matchup Hero Beat was. It really isn't. The only reason I lost is because he mained 2 Decrees, and I was like, oh, son of a chicken. But yeah, yeah, I know I just said son of a chicken instead of son of a biatch, and I just said biatch instead of bitch. What up? So yeah, odds are these coming out for Goes in Match, but literally, basically what happened is this was my Sam deck, or my Sam side deck, kinda, sorta. And I was just building, because again, I built this deck right before the tournament, and I was like, oh, I'm like, I need 2 cards. I'm like, Rivalry, because one of my good friends was running anti-meta, and like, for the past 4 months in a row, I play him for first. I'm like, no, I'm not losing anti-meta, so I'm siding Rivalries. But yeah, these should be Goes in Matches, but Rivalry also works if you don't have Goes in Match, because A, they're all light, and they all are Reptiles, so either way, you're good. Mind Crush works great against Gravekeepers because of Recruiter, works great against Gravekeepers because of Stay Late, like, anything that has. This is also really good against Scraps. Side this in against Scraps, remember that. Scraps. Scraps, Scrap matchup isn't that hard either. I say Scraps because Scraps are up and coming, and I was considering playing them. But, because Granol's kind of their main focus, because they take Shi-En. So watch out for that, because they'll, if you see them Scrap Storm, I forgot to negate it when in testing one time. He's like, drop Granol, take Shi-En. I was like, yeah, Scoop, I'm not playing this out. So, always watch out for that Granol. Scrap Storm in general would be a good card to negate with Shi-En, so remember that if you're going to a regionals or a big event. I'm trying to kind of help you guys out, but this is also why Scraps are a good matchup. They can't take this. It's bigger than almost everything except for Scrap Dragon. And if you have a Scrap Dragon, because you main board that, and also Honest, it's basically an anti-meta control deck, because that is a lot of monster removal. Plus bottomlesses and D-prisons stop Scrap Dragon from hitting the graveyard and getting the plus. So, but another big thing is lots of people don't know if you warning a Scrap Dragon, they still get their effect. So, warning the Chimera, I see lots of people make the mistake of letting the Scrap Dragon come out and then warning. No, warning the Chimera. Remember that. So I hope that helps you. I'm kind of talking a little bit more in depth just for the sheer fact that I'm going to a regionals. I'm trying to explain my thought process, and it's a fun deck, but it's at the same time it's a serious fun deck. I'm trying to not play something mainstream because I think that mainstream is heavily sided against. Because the only thing that most people would side against is Worms, is Knock. And again, I run 3 W's, and W stops knock. And the only flip effect that it would really, if it hits, removes them all, is Gyarados. And 9 times out of 10 I set up 1 Gyarados. Because I'm siding in more monsters and stuff. But yeah, I really like this. It's got lots of really cool options to side out and side in. 2 7 tools is really good. We switch around the Sam deck. The Sam deck is a lot more control-y aggro. Sams are going to be a big problem at any big event, so that is also why I decided to run Worms, because of Worm King is bigger than their Shi-En, and they can't handle something bigger than their Shi-En, so it's 1 sack, run over Shi-En. YuGiOh, because they can't win if they don't synchro, and he is just a straight up troll when it comes to synchros. So, I hope you guys like the deck. It's not super cheap because it's 3 dualities, 3 warnings. I wouldn't recommend building it without 3 warnings, 3 dualities. But I just wanted to show you guys that, because I'm sure people will be playing it at more events, and if you play against it, I don't want you guys to be unprepared, because it can be kind of like, first time I played it, I was playing Sam's, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? But remember, they have to be face up, because someone said something, and then activated this, and I negated it, and then they depresented me, and I was like, crap. So remember, it has to be face up. So don't let people cheat against you. So yeah, that's the deck. Like I said, 1 locals with it. It's a really good deck. I'm going to be at the regionals in Van. So yeah, hopefully I do well there. I'll maybe do a couple videos over there. Going over there with a bunch of people. So hopefully that'll be fun. Hopefully this video isn't too long. I hope you guys like it. It's an awesome deck. If you want to build it, build it. It's not super expensive, and literally, as soon as I read this card, I was like, I'm building this deck. So this is an awesome deck. This is a stupid card that should not have been a common. So I hope you guys like it. You know, and just yeah. So and also watch out for Blackwings, because they finally got their Zephyros. So those are going to be a bigger problem. So again, Blackwings isn't really a bad matchup because of 7 tools. I can stop the regresses, which it is a cost of tribute, plus also Zex into YuGiOh and kill their synchro that they had to value with. So watch out for that kind of stuff. So that'll be a deck that'll probably be a little bit more popular. Watch out for V-Turbo. Yeah, I hope you guys like it. Sorry I rambled on too long. Worms are amazing, and I'll see you guys later.